especially to Pilar Vinque for giving me the opportunity of sharing with all of you my experience and my point of view in how to develop an open data project. Well, as you can see by my accent, I don't come from Alabama. I come from Europe, from Spain, from a city very close to Barcelona called Gavà, with about 15,000 inhabitants. Whoop. Yeah, Barcelona and Gavà. For us, it's a small city. For us, for you, I think it's a town. My presentation is called 360 Degrees Open Data because I want to explain for whom should administration open their data and why. And I'm going to use this graph to explain the different actors that we should consider: customers, managers, employees, and peers. Let's go to start with customers. Municipalities do many different things and handle many different data. So they have several types of customers. The first customer group that comes to my mind are citizens, normal citizens, like friends, family, neighbors. Each of these individuals has different interests. For example, my husband, the order is changed in my presentation, my first presentation. Okay, doesn't matter. My husband wants to know what the city government doing with taxes, because he thinks that he doesn't spend enough in infrastructures needed for his business, like optical fiber. However, for my sister-in-law, the main concern is safety, because she has two teenagers who have begun to go and come alone from school. But my mother, this is my mother, who is obsessed in cleaning, is interested in how often is her street being cleaned. Also, she's allergic, and to know the level of pollen in her area is very useful for her. 4 types of information, totally different, asking only to 3 members of my family. Imagine if we ask to citizens openly, as Kansas City does. The amount of information that we have about which data is interesting and useful for citizens can be huge. Other kind of customers are journalists, scholars, students. All of them need data for doing reports, research, and studies. They are interested in demographic data, electoral data, environmental data, and so on. Another kind of customers are companies or non-profit organizations. They can use data to generate business or to generate social wealth. Making data available, they can be reused in many areas. For example, I'm sure that all city councils have data about city buildings, type of construction, year built, and so on. If we open this data, companies engaged in rehabilitation of facades may have a valuable information to potential customers, and they could adapt their marketing campaigns or trade policies to real needs. For ending with customers, I want to talk about providers. A provider considered as a customer can seem a contradiction, but it isn't, because we have a lot of data interesting for providers. If we open the tailored budget, they can know opportunities of collaboration with us. Or if we open a status of accounting invoices, they can know when they are going to charge them, so it's very important for them. Let's go with another kind of actors, managers. I have different managers in my organization, sometimes too many. But we will agree with me that they are people that we must keep in mind, because they decide whether to do a project and how many resources will we have. So we must understand their interest. The first group of managers that I want to talk about are politicians. They have particular interest in terms of publication of data. The first one is to comply with the transparency law. Our transparency law is very young, just 2 years old, but it's a fashion law. because due to the amount of corruption cases in my country, a new government image is very important. For politicians, an open data project is also a tool to explain spending and to explain government actions and decisions. Unemployment is another big problem in Spain. And open data can drive new business and create new jobs. For last, encourage the citizens to participate is another of the main goals for politicians. Re-educate in terms of participations. The other group of managers are directors. They add in other interests from internal point of view, like improve the government strategies, improve the economic impact in making data available, or improve the organization efficiency through consolidate and reuse of IT assets. Let's go with the third group of actors that we should consider: employees, civil servants. As managers, they must comply the law too. And believe it or not, they are key to success because they know the meaning of data and they are in touch every day with citizens. But in my experience, the first reaction when you talk with a civil servant about opening data is something like this. What? What are you talking about? Open data for what? What? And why this reaction? Maybe in USA it's different, but in Europe we have a hard personal data protection law since 1999. For years and years, they have learned to protect public data, and they do it very, very well, as Gollum protects his treasure. So it's very important to re-educate and have them participate since the beginning of the project, and also give them the security that they are working in a correct way, complying with the new law. The last group of actors that in the graph is shown as peers, for me, are the other public organization. And for understand me, I need to explain a bit the public organization of my country. We have the central government of Spain. We have different kind of regional governments, but also we have other non-territorial governments or organizations, some of them to control the others, or some of them to give services to others. And our local governments, municipalities, are linked with all of them. Because 38% of budget of a municipality with about 15,000 inhabitants, like Lavado, comes from transfer of these other type of governments, and they are thirsty and hungry for information. They demand a lot of data about human resources, payments, expenses, loans, grants, services, and so on. And it usually coincides in the same period of year, and it's very difficult to handle. And I wonder, has anyone thought about publishing all data in an open data portal in an agreed format to be used for all these organizations to reconnect them? I leave it in there. Well, just for summarize 5 ideas. Open data must be thought for much more to comply the law. It creates a demand from citizens, and we are required to dedicate resources to launch open data projects, but especially, and for me it's much more important, to keep them alive. A multidisciplinary team is required to consider all points of view. We have to rethink how to deal projects. We have to explain the project inside the organization very well. Civil servants need to be re-educated. We have to share and teach our customers how to use data. Again, citizens, companies, customers, etc. need to be re-educated for using data. We have to work on the definition of standards for using data by all kinds of governments, reconnecting them. Open data gives us a huge possibilities for improving in services, in management, in transparency, in economic activity. And that means that we have a lot and a hard work to do inside and outside our organizations. But I am an optimistic person, and I think that if we are able to do these human towers, this is typical in Catalonia, in my region, of about 15 meters, working all together for a common goal, I'm sure that keeping in mind all actors needed, we will be able to rethink, reuse, reconnect, and re-educate whatever we need for improving our daily lives using open data. Thank you very much.